Hi, I'm Granny, and we're going down the rabbit hole of the Sahara and the Amazon, episode 2. In the first episode of the Sahara and the Amazon, I shared some of the many kind of fossils found in the Sahara, which include giant catfish, like the size of man. Huge crocodiles that were like 7,000 pounds and 32 feet long, like the size of a bus. And flying carnivorous reptiles. Some in the world have been found to be as big as an F-16 fighter jet. Those are huge. We also have to remember what kind of large sea or ocean were these creatures living in to be found in the Sahara? How does that work? Today, we're going to go down the rabbit hole of the Milankovitch cycles, which include eccentricity, obliquity, and precession, or the Chandler wobble, which we've mentioned before, which will hopefully explain better why it leads to the Amazon. If you have a chance, I recommend the documentary called Orbit: Earth's Extraordinary Journey. It is a 2012 documentary hosted by Kate Humble and Dr. Helen Chursky, sharing what has been learned as the Earth orbits around the sun and how the weather patterns are influenced. It also helps explain the Milankovitch cycles. Milankovitch, and there's a variety of sources pronouncing his name in a variety of ways. So, anyway, he lived from 1879 to 1958. He was a Serbian mathematician, astronomer, climatologist, geophysicist, and civil engineer. Milankovitch concluded through his experiments 2 fundamental contributions to global science, known and acknowledged around the world for these things that I'll be sharing with you. The contributions are now known as the Milankovitch cycles. First is what is referred to as the canon of the Earth's isolation, describing the climates of the planets in the solar system, our solar system. Second is the explanation of the Earth's long-term climate changes caused by changes in the position of the Earth in comparison to the sun. A long time ago, I mentioned in one of the videos that if we want to go to Rome, we need to find where we are on the earth to get to where we want to go. It's the same thing in the universe. For us to understand what's going on, we need to know where we are and in association with those things around us. Vitally important. His theory partly explains the ice ages that have occurred and the climate changes we can expect in the future. Some sources claim there have been more than 10 ice ages. They're not distinguishing between mini ice ages and major ice ages. So if you compare the two, maybe the people claiming there's been over 10 are including the minor ice ages. But anyway, 10 are significant because sometimes they last 100,000 years. Milankovitch cycles are the long-term effects of changes in the Earth's movement on its climate. He believed these cycles are caused by variations in 3 aspects of the Earth's orbit. Eccentricity is the shape of the Earth's orbit around the sun, which changes over a period of between 100,000 years and 400,000 years. Currently, because we can only say currently, the shape of the Earth's orbit around the sun is elliptical. This means at certain times of the year, the Earth is closer to the sun than other times. That's why if you ever get a chance to watch Orbit, the amazing trip the sun takes, that documentary, it really explains it very well. An ellipse is an oval shape, not a circle, which then places the Earth closer to the Sun during the period of the perihelion. The last perihelion occurred on January 4th, 2024. At that point in its orbit, the Earth is over 91 million miles from the Sun, a difference of 3 million miles, or the aphelion, which is the farthest way. So when it's at the perihelion, it is the closest to the Sun. When it's at the aphelion, it's the farthest away from the Sun. And 3 million miles is significant. The next perihelion will be January 4th, 2025. Obliquity is the tilt of the Earth's axis. Remember, we've talked about how the Earth tilts on its axis, is relative to the Sun, which changes over a period of 41,000 years. So we know the pattern from recent data. So let's just estimate. Every 41,000 years, the obliquity, which is the Earth's tilt, changes, and it slowly changes to different positions. Precession, or the Chandler wobble, which we have mentioned before, is the direction that the Earth's spin axis points, which changes over a period of between 26,000 and 20,000 years. These cycles affect how much solar radiation reaches Earth's atmosphere and where it reaches. We've learned about solar flares' impact on the northern lights. We've talked about that. The cycles are responsible for triggering the beginning and end of ice ages and have led to 100,000 year ice age cycles several times over the last few million years. Just like the oceans have currents that are affected by the temperature changes in our atmosphere, so do weather patterns. So our wind may be separate than the ocean's current, but they affect each other because of temperature. When you watch the weather being described for your current weather, you will often hear the changes to the jet stream. These streams, now we call it the jet stream in North America, but there's jet streams all over the world, and you can go down that rabbit hole. Watching, for me, the jet stream here in the United States can help you determine where the moisture will be delivered. Phone apps are wonderful, showing these kinds of weather patterns. My app will show me satellite images from around the world. It is so cool. And I can anticipate if my area will have a normal or wetter season just by watching the jet stream. Depending on the sources, the last African humid episode, or the Green Sahara, occurred between 15,000 years ago and 5,000 years ago, increasing summer monsoons, moving farther north into the Sahara. Scientists estimate there have been 230 African humid episode periods in the last 8 million years, occurring about every 13,000 years. That is huge. So what does a desert like the Sahara with all of its fossils and the Green Sahara and the Milankovitch cycles have to do with the connection between the Sahara and the Amazon? Join me next time for the answers. Thanks for spending this time with me, and please join me next time when Granny goes down the rabbit hole. Please subscribe and share. Thank you.